Or do you want to share your screen, Shiva? Whatever CV that you have, I'll just take a quick look.
Just a moment. I need to open that.
Hmm.
Fine, so you guys may carry on. So,
Surely.
another meeting as well. Thank you so much. Thank
Sure.
you, Shiva.
Take care,
Bye.
Lina.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't keep it like kept it handy, so just a
No
moment.
worries. No worries. So I I have downloaded the PDF that was sent to me. Let me share my screen. Okay. So this is the CV that I have. Is this the latest one? Are you able
Oh,
to see my screen?
yes, I can see. Yeah, so this is the latest one. Like that like I modified actually this
Mm-hmm.
resume. And do
Oh.
you want me to share like show my original resume because I kind of tweaked it
Hmm.
a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you could, please.
So this is can you see my screen now?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my resume. So but this doesn't include my recent work.
Mm-hmm.
So this like I was doing as a senior recruiter from like in this company Infogenie. It
Mm-hmm.
was 5 months 5 months project, and before that I joined one Japanese firm. It's a 2 months project only.
Mm-hmm.
Then Stellar IT Solution, again technical recruiter, 10 months,
Okay.
and Pyramid Consultancy, 5 months, and this Iron System, 1 year, 7 months, and before that also it's a old like it's all technical recruitment. So I'm just
Okay.
showing
Okay.
uh, 6 months, and this Apollos, 1 year, 3 months, and before that I was in Wipro. So it's a service desk, 1 year, 1 month. 1 year almost. So this is but like I started my journey from Wipro as a IT service desk operation.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Mhm.
this particular thing I like uh,
Mhm.
this was a like somehow or other I came into this.
Hmm.
It is like
So
uh,
how long have you been working as an IT recruiter?
if I calculate, so from 19 to 2020, 19 to 2025.
So almost six
Yeah.
years. And
Nine.
before that, you said you were working with Wipro as in the service desk.
Yes. So it
Okay.
was in,
So if you count your total experience, what's your work experience like?
so if I like include my recruitment and my this networking,
Hmm.
uh, it is 6, 7, 8, almost 8 years
Almost 8 years.
total,
Okay. All right.
which is out of it 2 years in in tech in this like network operation center, IT service help desk.
And that was with Wipro, you said, right?
One in the starting, it was Wipro, and recently like I was desperately looking for the IT job,
Mm-hmm.
and I was preparing also, and somehow or other I got into this job, and this it's a European company, and so I'm like working here as a knock engineer. So like primary responsibilities, it's like to monitor their services, which is hosted on cloud, AWS, and Azure, and using tools to monitor like Dynatrace. It's a AI observability software, web application, and ticketing tools, fresh service, and following all the ITIL things. So this is it,
Okay.
like almost 1 year
So
now.
this is your recent experience in knock.
This is my recent experience, and but like I like initially I was on probation period. So when I completed that, I took admission in CCNA. So I did that CCNA. I completed, and CCNP I'm currently pursuing, and Azure 104 I'm pursuing, and Juniper JNCIA I'm pursuing. So these are the things. AWS
Okay.
also cloud practitioner certificate. But like initially, like when Corona hits, so at that time also I tried a little bit to jumped into the cloud. So I did cloud certification, that practitioner level certification I did.
Hmm.
But I didn't have an idea, like it didn't work out. So I didn't get any job. So again, I went into the recruitment. Recruitment, I can I would say it was a bad decision.
Hmm.
It is like scrambled my career very
Hmm.
much. But somehow or other, I like got into this NOG operation. But this company, like I was planning to at least complete my 2 years initially, so
Hmm.
that there would be some positive impact on my resume. Recruitment industry is very unstable, very unstable. Like you never know. I mean, I don't know how much you know about that industry, but it is very unstable. They don't mind if you are meeting your target, you will stay,
Hmm.
and otherwise they will let you go. And so like when I joined this SSP, it's a very good company, I would say, complete cloud-based solution they are providing their to their insurance customers of Europe and like all like Asia Pacific
Hmm.
region. So like I was planning to at least complete my 2 years, and but they were kind of in the migration stage when I joined. They were already migrating their local data center, their all like infrastructure to the cloud from local data center.
Hmm.
Uh, and now in the year 2025, they have completed their migration. So now all of a sudden they announced that they don't need NOC support.
Uh-huh.
And so
Okay.
we were four members in NOC.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we had to put the papers. Like they asked that we management don't need, and even we don't have any other opportunity. So that is the reason. Like I'm on notice period as of now. 8th of February will be my last working day.
Okay. All right. And from your education perspective, I see that you completed your engineering. Is it?
Yes, computer
Okay.
science.
That is in CS. And you completed in, when was
15.
this? 2015. Okay, there you go. All right. So after 2015, you started with help desk, and then you had to pivot to the recruitment side, and then now you are trying to come back to IT. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
like it was successful. Like I did that, but
Hmm.
now again
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's unfortunate, to be very honest. Yeah.
it is very
Unfortunately, the times are as such that you never know. Irrespective of the organization that you're working with, suddenly one fine day they'll tell you that, we don't really need your services anymore for whatever reasons, be it financial, be it just that they don't actually require the services or whatever. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. But keeping that aside, what are your aspirations? I would want to understand from you, and what are you trying to get out of this session, right? Where you would want to talk to me And so what, by the end of whatever 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever time we are going to spend, what is that key takeaway that you would want to walk out of? So that, that's how we will tailor the conversation, and we will try and sort of formulate a plan for you. So, but before that, I would like to understand what are your aspiration, what do you really want to do in the IT, right? Because again, IT is very wide. I see that you have just started with the knock. Is this something really you were enjoying when you were working with knock, or
Yes. So
as of this moment, since this was the thing that came up on your plate and then you took it up, uh, because we need to align our aspirations with what you are going to do next, right? And that's how you are going to prepare yourself. So it is very important, because I see that you have been trying to put your hands even in Azure, your AWS, CCNA, CCNP, right? So I can understand, given your position, you're trying to do a lot of things uh, in the hope that one of those things will click, right? I'm just by reading your resume, that's what I understand. But I would like to listen from you. What are your aspirations? What is your end goal, right? In which domain do you see yourself thriving?
okay.
Be it development, be it IT, be it support, be it networking, be it cloud computing. Yeah. What is that one thing that you would want to do, let's say, for the next 5, 10 years?
Okay. First of all, from like my expectations from this session is like I need a clear path in terms of technology. Like before coming to that, let me tell you, like initially, when I was in BTech, so I was also teaching peoples in technology like Java. I
Okay.
learned that, so I was teaching that. I was taking seminars also, and I didn't get any job, unfortunately. But so I landed up in this like networking help desk services. So I find okay, this is something like initially money was more of a like money was like I was giving priority to money also,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
apart from technology. Like I was not aware that much that how would be the impact of like there was no clear picture also in terms of technology skill wise, how to go, where to go.
Mm.
And uh, I then I like started my journey in like recruitment. But later on, after spending some couple of years, I realized that I can do something better. Like I like I don't like want to waste my whole life in recruitment. It's only one job, but like one task daily, repeated task, and also the you are not learning anything, and you are not going anywhere. Just one thing, and you are. It's like uh, I mean, what could I say? So I was then trying. I started trying in COVID, like when COVID hits. So I tried to get into the IT somehow or other, but it didn't work out. And but I kept on trying. I learned CCNA also was like talking to my friends also. But now this year, finally I succeeded to get into that. So I really love, like in terms of my uh, personal, what I think, I really like want to do like technical things because I I feel I do understand the things and I can teach. Like teaching is my like inherent characteristics, I would say. So I can teach things.
Okay.
uh, yeah, I mean, what I feel, because I gave seminars on
Mm.
Java, Java also. I gave seminars in schools on value education also. It's another topic, value education. I was doing freelancing.
Mhm.
So, Bhagavad Gita and all these things. So I was doing, yeah, I was doing seminars on these also. So like,
Mhm.
uh, the kind of passion for teaching something is there in myself. It's a, like inherited feature, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah,
So, again, going back to the original questions, right? So, since you mentioned that you did love teaching and you presented some seminars, some talks on Java some time back, how did you got to know about CCNA? How were you interested in networking side of the things? And what was that one thing that pulled you saying that, okay, let me try and get into networking or at least try and understand networking? How come you got interested in that?
okay. I was exploring two paths, developer or this networking side, software development and networking side. But I realized that, okay, development would be too hard for me at this point of time. It's like families also, responsibilities also. So I think I can quickly understand this networking things. Because there is no such coding involves, and so like only this kind of thought, and I studied the like went through the course, and I was like getting the things, and feels like yeah, I can do that. So then I like jumped into that, and
Okay.
when I
Now,
joined. Mhm.
sorry to cut you off. So now, let's say that whatever happened has happened, right? So you passed out in 2015, so it's almost 10 years, right? Now, since last 10 years, you were trying to sustain yourself by doing the recruitment job, and I can understand that must be very frustrating, right? Coming from an engineering background. And since you had that technical bent of mind, you said that you were also keen to learn either software engineering or development path or the networking path. So I can sense that you do have that technical bent of mind. Now, from this point onwards, right? So we are almost at the end of 2025. Let's say if I will ask you that, what is your goal in next 5 years? Where do you want to see yourself, right? What's in your mind? What is your vision for the next 5 years? What do you think that from your perspective, where you are at now, what do you think will be your next step? And within the next 5 years, where do you want to see yourself? Because what we need to really do is to filter your path down, right? So as of today, since you are not in a position to choose, you are trying different things, right? So you are trying to get into cloud, you're trying to get into security, I'm assuming, and you are also trying the CCNA, CCNP path. And then you have, I mean, that's the plus point that you now have at least about an year experience in knock, right? So considering this, forget about the recruitment side, whatever experience you had, forget about that. Standing in 2025 December, if I ask you what will be your next 5 years plan, I mean, in your opinion, right? Forget about what you other people are saying, but what is that drive that you see that, hey, this is what I like. I mean, based on whatever you have read, but whatever you have seen over the internet or the people that you have spoken to, hey, this is something that looks interesting and this is something that I would want to achieve, or this is a certain position that I would want to be in the next 5 years. What would that be?
So I'm thinking in my mind, and I've kind of like planned something for the next 5 to 10 years, that I want to land up in a DevOps. DevOps,
DevOps. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So
because
that's a very good that you have at least a clear picture and a clear idea. So that is what I was expecting, that you have at least a clear intent and a clear path that, hey, this is where I would want to move in. So just a follow-up question, why DevOps?
so uh, like recently I decided while working in this company SSP, and I got to know that I cannot directly jump into cloud DevOps. At least I have to have some basic experience of networking side, and while working on real-time devices, uh, when I get to chance to work in Azure or AWS environment, then someone can give me a chance to work on to work in DevOps also, uh, in DevOps environment also. So so I decided. I mean, I was thinking in a way that in order to become a DevOps engineer or cloud engineer, at least you should have basic fundamental networking knowledge. That okay, I can uh, configure any routing protocol, switches, VLAN, everything I can do. So that's why I decided this first step to at least master the real-time Cisco or any other alternative device configuration. So that's why, like, when I completed my probation period, I took admission in network engineer master course. Uh, in like I got to know Atul sir. Like I didn't know about sir. I knew that there is a institute, Network Bulls, and then I got to know Networkings also. So that's another thing, and so I landed in this. And while working in SSP, I was watching people migrating the things, migrating the services, and developers going to engineers. Okay, there is a patching activity, there is a upgradation activity. So I was watching them that they are doing some migration stuff on cloud, and even the environment is not getting down. So I saw their title DevOps engineer. So then I some did some research, and so I found that okay, they know how to like at least basic. They already know. I mean, that's a different thing. But I found this is good in terms of future also, because everything is on the cloud, and people and companies, they are migrating all of their services to cloud. And you know and then this website development, all this is like you have to be synchronized with the cloud engineers for their daily page patching and upgradation activities or any kind of other thing. So I found this is good. I mean, I I don't have any access, but I was seeing okay, they are doing this, they are doing this, and they are earning well also. And okay, I can make a career also in DevOps. So but how can I go there? I didn't know. And just a tentative uh, I mean dummy plan I made. Okay, I will do first networking, and then I'll do parallelly I'll do cloud to get the cloud handy experience, because in DevOps it's Azure or AWS or any other environment. So that's I planned this thing that okay, I will go in DevOps in next 5 or whatever will be the time. So I decided this, and I don't know how I will go, and but yeah, this is the thing.
Okay. Okay. See, so I am getting some gist out of it, what you're saying and what are your career aspirations are. Now, the next thing is that you need to make a plan, right, for the next, let's say, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Um, but before that, do you have some understanding um, about the roles of, let's say, SRE, site reliability engineering? Because it sits somewhere in between. And given your resume and given your current and the recent, the I think, who are you working with, SRS or something? What was the company? Anyways, since you were
SSP.
working in, yeah, so since you were working in NOC, you have a good starting point in terms of what could be your next step. right? So what you can probably do, or at least aim for, is to of course, not plan for your traditional, traditional network engineering roles where you are either logged into routing, switching, or security and that same. Because from you, I'm getting an hint that you necessarily are not looking for that kind of roles, right? Eventually, you would either want to transition into SRE or DevOps type of roles. Now, since you have that background with NOC, in my opinion, what you can probably target is first, of course, try and land up a job within the NOC domain itself. And for the next natural evolution for you would be to target any SRE roles. Now, just to give you a context, what is an SRE? And how is it different from your traditional network engineer? I mean, before that, do you have any idea about this role, SRE, Site
Oh.
Reliability Engineer?
I
No?
heard the
Oh,
term. I heard the term.
you heard that. You heard about it. Yeah. So this is one role which is in demand as of today. And I don't see any slowdown in the requirement for SRE roles in the next 5 years or so, at least in the next 5 years. So what SRE is somebody who brings in the best practices that exist in the software engineering domain, and then applies it on the operation side of the thing. And the end goal or the end result or the outcome that an SRE would want to achieve is to build a scalable systems. And that's the keyword here, systems. Now, if you are a network engineer or if you are a cloud engineer, your whole role or your whole job is to just focus on networking side of the things. Or if you are a cloud engineer, you would want to focus on cloud. So in case if there are any issues, if I'm a network engineer and if I'm only dealing with one particular technology, for example, let's say switching or routing, right? In case if there are any issues that come to me, I will try and isolate whether or not is this a issue which is related to routing or switching. If I'm able to do that, my job is done. Now, I don't care what will be the next step. I will only prove that this is not an issue with the routers or the switching that is involved in this layer. Then I will hand it over to the whatever the next team is, right? Be it server team, be it the application team, and let them try and troubleshoot and figure out the issue. Now, traditionally, it does take quite a considerable amount of time in order to fix these kind of issues, right? So the responsibility shifts between teams individually because traditionally all these teams are pretty much siloed, right? So network teams work in their silos, server teams work in their silo, and then you have platform teams, you have application teams and whatnot. Now with SRE, it sort of sits somewhere in between your network team, your application team, your server teams, your platform teams. And the whole goal for an SRE is not to shift the blame, but try and find the root cause,
Okay.
irrespective where the issue occurs or irrespective where the issue is. So an SRE has to think in bigger picture terms, not just focusing on the networking side, not just focusing on the application side. I mean, of course, since you are not the developer of the application, you wouldn't fix the application issue, but you will not leave the RCA once you have figured out that it is not a routing issue. Your job is not done at that point in time. So you might or you may involve the application owner, you may involve the server owner, but you are sort of a linchpin in the entire problem domain until and unless that problem is fixed. So your job is to find an RCA for the problem, not just from the technology standpoint, but the entire business standpoint. So you should be able to focus on a bigger picture, and you should be able to understand that in case if this issue is not fixed, what will be the repercussions in terms of business value, right? These many $1 million will be lost because the shipment can't go out in time, and then in the warehouse the shipment will get stacked. I don't have space in the warehouse. So you should be aware of the entire ecosystem of whatever industry or whatever a business that you are part of. So that's the job of an SRE. The second job of SRE is to design the systems. again, not the technology, not designing the network, not designing just the cloud networking or the cloud piece, but design the systems in such a fashion, in such a way that these systems are resilient. They have good amount of redundancy within these systems. So, I mean, as an SRE, you know that the things will break, but you have to plan and prepare for it, right? So you know something or the other will break in this entire ecosystem of networking, the application and the cloud, irrespective how tightly integrated all these applications are or how these layers are, something or the other will break. So you have to plan and prepare for those systems. So instead of thinking in terms of siloed technology, you have to build a systems thinking, right? Again, keeping the entire outcome in mind, not just the technology. So that's the role of an SRE. Now, as an SRE, you should be able to, uh, you know, have some technical bent of mind in terms of automation as well, because automation is a very big piece as a job responsibility of an SRE. So, I mean, just think of in terms of that if there is any job that you need to do manually more than once, as an SRE, you should be able to think ways in order to automate that particular task. So that's again one of the roles of SRE. So it works with cloud, it works with networking, it works with the application. So you need to have, if you are interested, you need to have understanding of scripting, Python, automation, Linux. Then you have to have understanding of networking. That's the least that we would expect from an SRE. And then you also have to have an system designs thinking bend of mind. Right? So this is the whole role of an SRE. Now, DevOps, again, it sits just beneath the SRE world where it interacts with the networking and the software development. So you bring your, again, software development practices to design the automation aspect, right? To design the operation piece of things, where you would want to monitor, you would want to generate alerts based on the principles and um, the values that you get from software engineering perspective. So there are a lot of things that you can think of, but for you coming from Knock, I would probably recommend you to stay in Knock for at least one more year and try and target these roles. SRE would probably will be a good fit for you. In if again you still want to have coding. I mean, in real world, if you still want to do coding, right, that's the whole job. I mean, by coding, I don't mean to create the applications, work on the application, but mostly from the perspective of automation side. So if you have that interest, this is one role. The
In
other thing, yeah,
coding, I don't have interest.
sorry, you don't have interest.
Coding, I like no more, like
Okay,
no more interest now.
okay, no worries. Um, in that case, probably the good fit, as you rightly called out, would be the DevOps slash cloud engineer type of roles. And unfortunately, we are in the days where, life has come full circle. And to be honest, I mean, just to give you my experience and my background, I also did my engineering and back in 2010. I completed back in 2010, and then I started with the same thought process, right? So I was confused between, and I did my engineering in computer science. So I was also not too keen to get into coding, and then I also got to know that okay, there is another path that I can take with the networking. So I tried, and I also started with help desk. In fact, technical support. I'm not sure if you heard for Linksys routers, your home routers, right? So that was my first job, technical support for those home routers, and that's the first taste of networking that I got. I got really interested, although it was home networking, but I got to know about IP addressing, the subnets, and very, very basic. What I mean, as compared to enterprise, you don't really deal with all these technologies in home, but some basics of networking were involved. So from then on, I got interested in networking. Then I switched to another help desk role, and then finally I got the enterprise network support call. Then I went into it, and then currently I'm working with Cisco as a network architect since last 5-7 years now. But the thing is that for me as well, life has come full circle, because you can't really stay away from coding, not in pure coding sense, not in pure software development sense, but at least have an understanding of automation side of things. Because even in day-to-day operations, and from the perspective of designing and architecting a network, you need to have an understanding of automation. What are the tools that are involved? What do you, at least some basic scripting understanding of Python.
What kind of coding you are like talking about? Like you are talking here, uh, like is it the scripting you are talking
It is
here?
mostly scripting. It is mostly the understanding of Terraform. How do you use Terraform in order to deploy the templates, create the templates? How do you, because see, every customer, every deployment is different, right? So generally, whenever you would want to deal with any specific customer, they will come up with their own set of requirements. Sometimes whatever tools and services the vendor is selling, they may not fit their requirements. So they will ask you that, hey, what can I do on top of what you are selling? So for example, if there are some metrics that Cisco's management platform is giving to the customer, they would want to extract something else out of the same management tool. So how would you leverage the existing management tool in order to customize, let's say, some alerts, some reports, or specific analytics that they would want to gain? Because every vertical, every business is different. They have their different requirements. Somebody would want, hey, I don't really care about how many users are connecting to my wireless network, but I would want to see in a particular day how many users were in so and so building, because that's a valuable metrics for me given my use case. So how can I draw that analytics on top of what you're selling? So you should be aware of one thing, what current platform is capable of, what are the metrics that I can gather from the current platform, and using the APIs, what else can I extract out of the devices, out of the switches, out of your access point, or out of your wireless LAN controllers, and then translate into a third party tool which you can integrate, right? You can extract all those values, parameters using APIs, and then send it to the third party tool, whatever customer is using. So you need to have an understanding of Terraform, Python, um, uh, understanding how to work with GitHub, because again, you need to publish your codes, your scripts to the customer, and they would want to review it. So, and at least some understanding of the Linux, right? So these are some of the things that you should be aware of in terms of automation. If you are able to do that, and of course, you probably will also be dealing with JSON based on whatever platform. And so for example, with Terraform, the format where your configuration will show up in CLI. Right now, what you do, you log into a switch, you do a show IP interface brief, and it gives you the output, right? Instead of doing that, you write a script in a specific format, let's say JSON format, and so that whenever your script, your API will return the data to you within a specific format, JSON format, instead of the exact output, you can create templates out of it. Because what happens is that if you are only dealing with Cisco, that's fine. You can just simply push this show IP interface brief command. But if you're dealing with multi-vendor type of situation where you have Cisco, where you have Aruba, Juniper, whatever, you can't take the syntax of one vendor command and then apply it on the other vendor box, right? So show IP interface brief may not work in a Juniper switch, right?
Yes,
They will
yes.
have a different command. So that is something that has been standardized. So there is a layer of abstraction that has come in between the actual output and what you are trying to achieve. So what is your intention, irrespective what underlying device you have. So there is a layer of abstraction. So you need to deal with that layer of abstraction, because with JSON formatting, you don't really care what will be the syntax. I only care that this will be the output that I want to look for. So you have to have that understanding. So JSON,
Can
Linux, Terraform, Yang, These are some of the models that you should be aware of if you are trying to move into
I know,
that.
I know these things.
Okay,
Like
that's good. That's good.
the
So
way you, yeah, sorry.
yeah, so if you have understanding of these fundamentals, at least one scripting language, if you are keen into it, pick Python. And
Hmm.
how does Python applies to networking?
Hmm.
So that is very important. So learning Python is one thing, but what's the use case of learning Python in terms of networking, in terms of DevOps, in terms of cloud, right? So how do we apply those learning in these fields? So that is again also very important. So there are some courses specifically around Python for network engineers, right? So
Hmm.
somebody who doesn't have any background in Python, they can pick up this skill pretty easily. The second thing is that with the advent of AI, right, somebody will tell you that, hey, you no longer need to learn Python because everything is AI. You can simply ask AI, your chatbots, your chat GPT and whatnot. But the thing is that you need to understand the basics, right? If you are getting an output back from chat GPT or any LLM model, for example, you need to validate that whether it is correct or not. Is that something that I would want to implement in my systems or not? So you have to have at least the fundamentals clear, if not the syntax. So that's why pick just one scripting language, stick to it, and just go ahead with it. Uh, and in terms of cloud, there again has been a shift pretty recently. Until last 2 3 years, you would have seen a lot of push from the cloud vendors where they would want everything to be moved on cloud. But since last 1 year, I'm not sure if you were following news, there have been quite a lot of cloud outages, right? That broke the internet, the
Yeah.
entire global internet,
Yeah.
Cloudflare, for example, very recent one. AWS, for example, they also had an outage. So majority of the organization, at least the ones which have global presence, they are again going back to the model of hybrid networking, where they also want to have an on-prem solution as well as cloud solutions in terms of networking.
Okay.
So pure cloud computing, I wouldn't say is dead, but it has sort of taken a different route. Initially, what cloud vendors and most of the organizations were thinking that, hey, we don't really need network engineers in-house because everything will be on cloud and we will just have basic networking. That again has pivoted, that again has shifted because of all these things that have recently happened. And organizations have realized that cloud is nothing but you are just dealing with somebody else's network. So even if the outage is not in your own network, if there is an outage in the cloud vendor's network, you have to deal with the consequences. So they are now again going back to the hybrid model. So you do have the requirements for pure network engineers as well. But if you have a good understanding and if you have built a good foundations on top of your basic networking, and then you go ahead and learn cloud, then you will have good amount of skills in the market. Second thing is that just doing the certification will not help you at this stage. You need to build and work on the projects, right? And the way that you can showcase your projects, keep a external public facing repository. For example, if you are building or if you are doing any automation, right, irrespective what lab you are using, whether it's a home lab or a cloud lab or any network training labs,
Hmm.
whatever automation that you are building, please use GitHub in order to or use GitHub in order as a repository of your code or whatever work that you are doing, so that it can be public facing. Whenever you are appearing for an interview, you can tell them, hey, although I do not have hands-on experience in the industry, I have dealt with I did some labs and this is my work. You can go ahead and check it out. So you have that, right?
Hmm.
And then you also have the option to build some cloud projects as well, cloud networking projects. So there are some sites, there are some resources that are available for you where you can take some help in order to what kind of cloud projects that you can build. So sometimes it may cost money, sometimes majority of it will be free, but you have to just try and find the balance. With bare minimum of 5,000, 6,000 rupees, you would be able to build good labs with your EC2 instances, your load balancers, your VPC, hosting the VPC, your Route 51, in at least in AWS, right? So you can have all this, build a systems design, build a network design, and host it on the public cloud. So that again, whenever you are appearing for an interview, you can showcase them that, hey, I know the concept. I may not be able to, at least I have not worked on scale in an enterprise network, but I know the concepts, right? I know what does a load balancer do. I know what does a Route 51 do. I know how to host a website within an EC2 application, right? I know how to scale an EC2 application with what applications and what features that exist in AWS. So it will give you an advantage in addition to the theoretical concepts. Just knowing the theoretical concepts is one thing, and then showcasing and walking them an interviewer through your labs, through your projects, gives a very good impression of you that, hey, this guy is what he's talking about. He is not simply coming back and reading the definition and then appearing for an interview. He tried his best. He has, if he didn't get the chance in the industry, at least he knows that he can work around with it, right? And the spilled advantage of it will be that when you are building these labs, when you are doing these projects, it will enhance your learning. So whatever have you learned, if you will implement it by your hands and you see the outcome, and then a lot of things will click in your mind instead of just reading or going through an YouTube video or whatever videos, right? Unless you do your hands-on practice, it will be very difficult to crack an interview, because you would have seen that there are a lot of people that are appearing for just one single opening, right? And then the second thing is networking. Networking, not in terms of computer networking, but your peer networking. The people that you are currently working with, please keep in touch with them, because the network of people that you have, they are your great resource. Because I give you an example, right? So we also have some openings in Cisco, and whenever we publish an opening, we get thousands and thousands of resumes. And those resumes are written by AI, using AI, just so that they are tailor fit for the job opening, right? They will use the keywords, what keywords they will see in the job opening. They will put those keywords using ChatGPT or whatever in their resume, just so that it gets filtered. And on the back end as well, majority of these platforms where the job applications are posted, right? At the back end as well, they will use AI in order to filter those resumes as well, right? So you are using AI in the front end, you are using AI in the back end. So sometimes it gets very difficult to find a good resume or good candidate, because of this filtering system, right? Sometimes when we get the resume, it looks perfect on paper that, hey, this is what we were looking for, man. It matches 100%. But when we go for an interview, then we get to know, okay, this is not even close to 40% of what we were expecting, right? So that's why it becomes very important that you have to network with people. The good thing that you are currently in Knock, so keep in touch with people. You never know who or when will be becoming torch bearer or lighthouse to give you that next opportunity. You never know. So yeah, networking is very important, because if we get a referral by somebody, that will be the first person out of those 1,000 resume lists that we have received. That will be the first person that we will call up. That, hey, we have got a referral from so and so person who is already working or who was working with us and left, but we have your referral. Because we also want to hire people, right? So think from the organization perspective, they have posted a job opening. They are looking for people to close this position as soon as possible. So the referral and your own peer networking, human networking works. So that's aside from the fact of technology that you are dealing with. But yeah, coming back to our original discussion, what should be your next step? Think of your next step in terms of building projects, learning cloud, learning. Did you complete your CCNA certification or no?
CC, not certification, course I completed,
Okay.
including
So then make a target, build a target for, let's say, next 6 months. Within those 6 months, try and complete your CCNA certification, and also your AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. Right. So at least these two certification is something that you should be focusing on.
Only
And
CCNA.
as of right now, CCNA. Yeah. If you have already gone through the training, I think it will be pretty easy for you. And if you are completing your CCNA, then you start focusing on AWS, right? If it is easy, you replace CCNA with any other certification you would want to do. For example, if you want to gain some more insights on Python and how to use Python in networking, I don't know if there is any certification that exists, but there are some courses that exist specifically for Python for network engineers. So enroll yourself in that course. Right. So these are from the perspective of technology side of things. And the priority will be for you is to find another NOC role, right? NOC job. Because from here, it will be difficult for you to jump directly into network engineering or cloud solution or a cloud network engineer type of role. But if you continue with NOC for, let's say, at least next 7-8 months to up to an year, and within that 1 year, if you are completing your CCNA and your AWS, and on top of it, doing all these labs and projects that you can showcase publicly, right? That will help you in landing up that the next job. And as your next step, try and look for the job mostly into these DevOps / SRE type of roles. SRE may be difficult right after NOC with 1 or 2 years of experience, because it requires quite a lot of things, right? As I said, that it requires a system designs thinking mindset. It requires automation, heavy on automation, and it also requires heavy on the architecture and the design side of things. So it may be difficult to get that role, but that's the path that you can take if you like automation. And then also publish your learnings externally, right? Use LinkedIn, use YouTube, publish whatever you have learned, write blogs. Don't think of writing all these things or publishing all these things in the hope that, hey, somebody will see it, somebody will comment on it, I will get so many likes, so many reshares or posts. No, that's not the goal that you are looking for. Publish those things as if nobody was in the room, nobody's in the world. It's just you who is putting your learnings on paper, and instead of paper, you are writing a blog. So whatever you have you learned, just put it down. This is what I've been doing. This is the and this is why I have been doing. I have been building this project or building this VPC in cloud, and this is how you connect. And this is the integration of Route 53 or Route 51. Don't think of what somebody will comment. They will see or say that, hey, this is very basic. You don't even know this. No, you are just putting it for yourself. Because trust me, when you start putting on these things out on either LinkedIn or your own website or your own blog, you will enhance your learning, because you are putting it on paper, whatever you have learned, whatever you have built. You will spend time in building the lab topology, what you want to put on blog, right? So that also will give you an understanding. Okay, this is how I need to think in terms of designing and architecting a network, right? So again, it enhances your learning, whatever you have learned so far. But again, don't get stuck into this trap or rat race that I have to, showcase this on my LinkedIn profile and I'm not getting any comments, I'm not getting any likes. No, you don't. You have to be thick-skinned in that sense that sometimes, yes, you will feel dejected. Hey, I'm not even getting noticed. Nobody is commenting. Or if somebody is commenting, they are saying that you don't really know the basics of it. This is now how you do things. But at least that will start a conversation on LinkedIn, right? And that will showcase your intent that this is what you would want to do, right? So that's the whole idea. If you are comfortable, use YouTube, record videos. If not, blog, write these posts in LinkedIn. If you're not comfortable writing these posts on LinkedIn, build up your own blog, right? Write blogs. And whenever you're appearing for an interview, you can simply link that page of your blog into your resume, or within the interview itself, you can tell them, hey, I've been writing and I've been talking about these things and I've been putting my learnings here in this blog. If you want, you can check it out. So they will also see your interest uh, in in uh, in specific technology. And the second thing is that with this visibility that you are building, it also has a compounding effect. So if you start putting out these blogs and LinkedIn posts or whatever, right, whatever you're comfortable with, over a period of time, when you will look back an year from now in December 2026, when you look back, you will have a good amount of body of work available for you, right? And you can always go back, reuse it, go back to your basics, and you will be amazed by yourself, right? That, hey, I've come this far, man. I didn't know that I was able to put all this together. And since last 1 years, I've grown from basics to advanced level, whatever technology that you want to choose, right? So again, it gives you yourself, to yourself, it gives you that little pat on the back that, hey, I did a good job. So that is also very important. Instead of waiting for somebody else to say that, you will say that to yourself. So that is a huge motivation. So yeah, this is what it is. And unfortunately, there's no shortcut, to be honest, right? So I was in the same position that you are in. I started with help desk. I started with technical support.
Help
I
desk.
struggled for about 2 years, 3 years in that role, and then finally I was able to shift into networking. You can target some of the smaller companies which are posting these openings, right? You don't have to necessarily go after large organizations, Cisco, Juniper. No, at least for the next 2 years, don't think about it. Think about gaining the experience because you are pivoting into a new role, and think of what you are trying to achieve in the next 5 years. So that will be your end goal. But for that, you have to start somewhere, right? So you'll have to start taking those baby steps. Yeah.
Uh, One
Okay.
question.
Any questions? Yeah.
Like no, not a question. Like the point you mentioned that automation, scripting language, Python. So like I was uh, thinking the coding part in a different way from the development point of view. But in automation, scripting, I do have interest. Yeah,
Then
when
you
I
can target for SRE roles. These are very high demand roles, right? So SRE roles, because it requires automation, it requires networking knowledge, it requires cloud knowledge, it requires systems design thinking knowledge. So it also helps you grow in terms of, as I said, right, with a pure networking type of role, you get very siloed in thinking that, hey, this is just networking issue, this is just routing issue, switching issue. But with systems design, you take everything into account and you map it with the business outcome, right? This is what my organization, my business would want to achieve, or this will be the repercussions if something breaks. Right? So you have to think in that terms. Same goes for cloud architect roles. Even in cloud architect, you have to deal with the overall design. So whenever you are appearing for a cloud architect role, they will start talking to you with systems design principle instead of just dealing about, hey, what is VPC? No, they will never ask what is VPC. So they will give you a design and ask you that, hey, how will you build that design? So they will, in the interviews, they will try and gauge how I mean, remember that all these roles are very sort of architect and designer level roles. So you have to think in terms of the design and the architect of the entire systems end to end, not just in terms of the routing or the switching.
one
But
very
but Knock is a very good starting place, to be honest, because I have had friends who started with Knock and now they are network architect, cloud architect. So it is a very good place to be in because you do have some basic understanding with all these tools of operations that you are dealing with, right? And
correct.
then it is easy for you to build on that knowledge and then move to the next step.
Correct.
Yeah.
One very confusing thing I have in mind. Like it is disturbing me a lot. Only one thing
Mhm.
as of you very beautifully gave me like a path and the things like building the labs and put it on GitHub and the cloud labs also. I would definitely this will be my parallel thing with my learning. So the one thing which is very disturbing me is my resume. Like if I would like to ask you honestly, like you are in Cisco. So like as of now, I don't think so. My resume will be accepted in Cisco. But do you think in a future, because like I was not intended to like my experience, if you look at my experience, previous experience, 1 month project, 5 month project, so it really crooked my resume, and I was not intended to do that. But what do you think? Like honestly, I need your review. Like down the line, coming 3 years or 2 years or 3 years, will my resume like will Cisco accept my resume, or organization like Cisco, Juniper, Palo Alto, will they accept my resume after 2 3 years, or like what do you think?
It's a very good question, Shivam, right? So I can completely understand why this question came up. And I was, believe it or not, I was in the same position, about 10 years back, because I also started in, customer support and that kind of role. So I was also very, very, you know, conservative in terms of whether or not will be I able to go through or jump the hoops and then land up quote unquote my dream job. But the thing is that irrespective of your previous experiences, the only thing that the next organization will care about what is that you are bringing in, right? What is the value that you as an individual, if I am taking your interview, I would want to see what is that you have done in the last 2 3 years. I don't really care what you did 5 years back, right? I don't even mention in my resume what did I did back in when I was doing when I was in help desk and customer support. So there is just one line in my resume that mentions that I was in customer support. That's it. I don't even mention it anymore, because all it is the last 2 3 years what you have been doing. That's all I care. And then during the interviews, if I see that you are adding or you are going to potentially add some value to my organization, or if you are somebody who is meeting the requirements of the role that has opened up in my organization, I will not care. So for me as well, see, whenever you are starting in Cisco, sorry, not Cisco, whenever you're starting in networking, probably Cisco is the end goal, right? Whoever is interested in networking, they would want to work with Cisco. And that was the case with me as well. That if I was start or when I started with Linksys, that was something that I was aspiring for. And I had also to take step by step, baby steps, and every 2 years or even before 2 years, I had to switch organizations because those specific job roles or job requirements were not meeting my end goal, my end result, which was to work with Cisco in networking. So I also used to jump between different organizations. And when I joined Cisco, I had already switched about 6 organizations. So Cisco was my sixth or seventh organization, and I have been in Cisco since last almost about 10 years now, right?
Okay.
And before that, I didn't, the maximum that I stayed with an organization was about 22 months. That's it, right? I didn't even complete 24 years. So this was the question that Cisco in the interview, Cisco guys did ask me that, hey, I did not see you sticking around in any organization. Why is that? But I gave them an honest answer that, hey, this is what my intention was. It's not like that I jumped without an plan. There was a plan. I wanted to work with Cisco, and this is the role that I have been aspiring for. And since these organizations, although they did give me a good platform to have some basic understanding, but they were not meeting my expectation, which I eventually wanted to achieve, right? So now it doesn't really matter how many organizations I have joined, because nobody would care, right? So same goes for you. Once you are there, once you have spent good amount of time in NOC, let's say 2 years, you have showcased your learning, you have showcased your intent with all these labs and put out publicly. Whenever you are appearing for an interview, nobody will ask, nobody will care what you did, why did you switch from engineering to recruitment. All they would care is what you are bringing to the table. That's all.
That really pacified me. So one last question,
Sure.
which is again very important. Uh, like you mentioned, CCNA certification in next 6 months and the AWS certification in next 6 months. Uh, Let me tell you what I am doing currently is CCNA. I'm doing revision. CCNP. I'm doing like OSPF. Next is MPLS and like whatever it will be. I have to go with the pace of teacher with the facilitator. So uh, parallelly, I'm doing Azure 104
Mhm.
and Juniper JNCIA module. And Python for networking I will start. The you gave me, and this is sound like interesting to me. So I will start this. And now, what you suggest? I mean, as of now, what you suggest? I mean, one is CCNA, one is Python for networking. CCNP I'm doing, which I have to complete. I will complete it, and next will be Palo Alto or FortiGate. It is in the module, so I will go for that. Palo Alto and FortiGate. You can also suggest me to do whether Palo Alto or FortiGate. And should I continue my Azure, JNCIA, or like what? I mean, should I drop it and
So,
start AWS? Like what?
so I'll suggest don't dip your toes in too many things simultaneously, right? Pick one thing, but do a damn good job of completing that. Otherwise, what will happen is that 6 months will pass. You will neither complete CCNA, you will neither complete JNCIA, you will neither complete AWS Architect, nor will you complete Python because you have limited time in a
Hmm.
day, 24 hours. That's it, right? You can't be doing these many things at the same time.
Hmm.
So pick a couple of things, start with that, and then build upon it. Don't start parallelly too many things, simultaneously too many things. Have a basic understanding. I mean, in my opinion, your first goal should be to clear CCNA certification, and not just for the sake of it, but you need to get the learnings out of it, right? Whenever there is an interview, if there is, you are called for an interview, based on your current resume, you should be in a position that whatever you have learned in CCNA, you should be able to answer those, right? Not just for the sake of certification, because given your situation, given the experience that you have, you should not be in a position, or you should not be finding yourself in a position where you are appearing for an interview and that you get the, or you give the impression to an interviewer that, hey, this guy only has the certification just for the namesake on his resume and
Hmm.
he does not know what he's talking about, right? So you need to have that basic clear understanding of CCNA. If you want to review the entire CCNA course, please do so. Clear the certification, pick up AWS Solution Architect certification, and then go through the entire course with a single intent that if I'm picking a chapter today, right, whatever chapter it is within this course, CCNA or AWS, I want to learn this. I want to know why is this happening? What do I need to do? What is the use of this in the real world, right? So you have to think in that perspective, not just from the perspective of clearing that certification. Because trust me, we get a hell lot of resumes with certifications, CCIE, CCNP, CCNA, right? But that's not the thing that we are looking for. We don't care if you have CCNA, we don't care if you have CCNP or CCI. That may get you foot in the door, but that will not land you the job, which is the certification. No. So you have to have some differentiating factor with the other 1,000 people who have listed CCNA or CCNP in that resume. So what
Hmm.
is that? I mean, think of in terms of the organization, right? I am sitting on the other side. I have this bundle of 1,000 to 2,000 resumes. Everybody has written that I have completed CCNA. This is my CCNP or CCI number, right? But what is that one thing that is giving you an edge over those 1,000 people, right? And that edge can be these labs, these posts, these blogs, your learnings that you are putting in public domain, right? Those are the things that will really get me interested as an interviewer. That hey, this this candidate looks pretty interesting, man. Let's have a conversation with him, right? And that's how you will be able to at least position yourself a little different from all those 1,000 people. Again, don't get concerned about there are a lot of things to learn. How will I do that? Pick one thing, do a good job, damn good job in completing that. Get the most out of that course that you are enrolling yourself in, and then move on to the second course, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to complete everything if you start simultaneously. For you, the career path that I see personally is from a NOC engineer to a DevOps engineer to a site reliability engineer, SRE. So that's the path that, in my opinion, that you should aim for, because I can feel that this is what you are interested in. Right? You yourself said that you are interested in DevOps kind of role. So from NOC, DevOps, and then finally SRE.
Okay. So do I like from AWS and Azure, what should I pick?
See, again, don't get too concerned about the vendor certification. Don't, because a lot of people will come back to you saying that, hey, Azure is no longer seen as a leader in terms of adoption in cloud. Some people will come back to you say that probably not Google, GCP certifications are not valid anymore. Again, your intent is to learn the technology and the why behind it. Not again, the end goal is not to complete a certification and add that tag in your resume or your LinkedIn profile, right? You have to get the learning out of it. Pick one, any cloud vendor that you would want to pick. If you have some understanding already with AWS, use that. If you have some understanding with Azure, use that. So whatever vendor, whatever cloud vendor you have some understanding, some interest, or some knowledge, you pick that, run with it, right? But complete your learning. Don't start something and then leave it in between and then switch to something other, right? So that's how you end up with all these different courses that you have enrolled yourself in, then you don't complete anything. So again, if you are picking AWS, complete your AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. Or if you are picking your Azure, whatever equivalent is that, complete that.
Got it.
Fine. So, Shivam, any other questions you want to ask with Utkarsh, sir?
No, it's like I great pleasure, sir. Like I feel deeply like see seriously talking with you so many things like I'm taking away, and really a clear picture now I have in terms of fear. Yeah, sorry.
Fine. It's nice to see that you find it fruitful. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Utkarsh, for giving the guidance and support. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
So wish you all the best. And yeah, I would like to see sometime. Hopefully, I end up on your blog, on your LinkedIn posts. Please do keep on posting all these things. Who
I
knows,
can
right?
I can send you the LinkedIn request, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay.
fine. So, I will be closing the session. Thank you. Thank you, Shivam, and thank you, Utkarsh. Right.
All the
Bye.
best, Shivam.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice meeting you, sir. Thank you, Lena.
Bye.